Hey legends, what's up? It's Darkmake here from Big Dumb Gaming and welcome back to another video. So Dragonflight has been revealed. It is in full swing, and with that comes a world of speculation and hopium about what we can expect and hope to see in this coming expansion. Now, one of the features that has seen a whole lot of hype around it is the talent tree style system making its comeback. Now, I think this is a fantastic move. I have played WoW since the dawn of time, the dawn of WoW. I am one of those tossers in the street that will bail you up. Excuse me, do you have the time? And do you know that I played vanilla WoW? So going back to TBC, it was a real classic reminder for me of how much I actually enjoyed this style of system. Each level I felt like I was progressing in some way on my character through a plane of power. Even though there was a defined build that I was following, as there always is in this game, it still felt like every time I got a point, I was on a pathway to a power progression that I looked forward to and made me feel invested in my character and those points. So Sigma and Desmond have already put out some examples and answers to questions circulating the community since the announcement, and we're going to cover them in today's video. So, starting off with, what do we know? So the talent system will become available at level 10 when you choose your specialization for your class. How many talent points do you get, and how do you go about obtaining them? So the talent points are obtained at each level. The points will alternate between your class tree and your spec tree. So great news here is that there's nothing different than what we've been used to in that old style. You ding, you get a point to spend. Really cool to see that it'll alternate between class tree and spec tree. I'm really liking the look of that. This means in pre-patch at level 60, you're going to have a total of 51 points. So you'll spend 26 points in your class tree and 25 in your spec tree. When you level through Dragonflight and hit level 70, you'll have 61 points to spend, 31 in your class tree and 30 in your spec tree. So how does spending points in a tree work? So you must obtain the talents in the top row first, and after obtaining all ranks in any talent, you may spend points in subsequent talents in the tree indicated by the arrows you can follow. Your class tree may grant you 1 or 2 starting talents automatically before you start spending points. So these are free talents, and these will be things that would feel really bad to spend points on, I would assume, like Deathgate or Teleport Moonglade or just some spells along those sort of lines where you wouldn't want to be putting points, your precious points, into obtaining those spells. So that's really good. I like that they've done that. Certain rows don't allow you to progress beyond them until you've spent a certain number of points in them, so I don't think that's any surprise, and that's fine. You may have noticed that there are different shapes in the talent tree. So breaking these shapes down, squares are active abilities, circles are passive abilities, the octagons are choice nodes, and this is where you'll pick multiple options in that talent node. The diamond spheres on the side, or the diamond shapes on the side, sorry, we basically have no idea how these are going to mechanically function at the moment. You can see on the example, the Restoration Druid one that we're going to talk through, that there's Rebirth and Stamp Roar over the side, but we don't actually know how they'll work at the moment. So we'll be interested to see how they go. Are all the talent points new abilities? So most of the talents and abilities are existing from current game or past game, and that's the exciting bit here. There will be and are new active and passive abilities incoming though through the class and spec tree. So really excited breakdown there of seeing some of our current spells be kept in the game. Past spells coming back is amazing, and then the idea of new spells coming as well. This is good. So what about some of the important abilities that you might be looking at on these trees, like interrupts? And you can see on the Restoration Druid one that Skull Bash is a fair way down on that. So they said they're currently working to try and focus as many combat altering abilities as possible into the new talent tree. This can include things such as movement abilities, interrupts, dispels, hybrid healing options, and defensive abilities. Their goal is to set up the tree and paths so that there are opportunities to choose between different types of utility, but not to, for example, abandon all utility choices entirely in order to maximize your DPS or healing. If you choose to not have an interrupt, it is likely because you've traded it out for some other type of utility or CC that you believed would be more useful in that situation. And the inverse is also true. Specializations that do not have a certain capability in Shadowlands such as an interrupt, may be able to obtain it by giving up something they do currently have. So the first thing I thought about when I was reading this was some of the healers that don't have interrupts, like Holy Priests. Does this mean that a Holy Priest will be able to pick up an interrupt, which would be amazing? Does this mean classes with longer interrupt CDs, like 24-second interrupts, will be able to reduce them? Who knows what that's sort of going to involve, but that opens up another world of possibility, which is really great for those classes. Talent loadouts, so you'll be able to save and have many different builds through the talent tree system. You'll be able to swap easily between them the same way you do at the moment, except it'll just be via a drop down from this loadout. I believe you're also going to be able to send them off to other people as well, which will be fantastic in just regard like to export strings. There will still be spells that you have that aren't obtained via the tree. So as I mentioned before, you'll get some of these spells for free. And they did reference this, and it was things like Eyes of the Beast, Astral Recall, Deathgate, Teleport Moonglade, things that would feel bad to spend talent points on. Obviously, you will still have those spells, even if they're not on the talent tree. So from all that, as a community originally speculated, one side of this tree is going to make you your class, and the other side is going to make you your spec. So looking at an early released example of the Resto Druid talent tree here, we can see, as mentioned before, that the left side of the tree is what makes you a druid, and the right side of the tree is what makes you a druid of that spec. Now, theory crafting is obviously a huge part of this game. It always has been, and it always will be. So I would assume on the right side of the tree, we will see fairly consistent min-max pathways come out for all the classes, and that's just the way it's going to go for each form of content that you'll be rolling into. On the left side of the tree, however, I'm hoping that we will get some real freedom of choice here. If balance, and this is a tricky one because balance has always been a very, very tricky thing for Blizzard to work around. If they manage to achieve some kind of balance here, and we see past abilities coming in, current Covenant abilities, new abilities appearing, and they're near balance, that's going to give a lot of options for doing different things in different content. For classes to be able to work around, group composition will be a real factor in what you can choose and make work. There is so many awesome possibilities that come from this. On the Druid talent tree here on the left side, you can see it basically removes the abilities that belong to affinities. So you're not locked into that affinity choice anymore if you wanted like Typhoon or Ursouls or Swiftmen. But we can actually see the affinity icons are still present there to give a power boost, I would assume. We can see things like Frenzied Regen, Maul, Thrash, Ironfur, Swiftmen, Skullbash, send wards there, Cyclone, Typhoon, Innovate, Mighty Bash, Renewal, Rip, Rake. The choices, these are for a Resto Druid. So many things that you can make work into your build from this. You know, we covered off the shapes of the abilities before, but if you were looking at them trying to remember, squares are active abilities, circles are passive, and the octagons are those choice nodes. The diamonds on the side, we don't know how actually going to function yet. They haven't said. But hybridity seems to be a real word that they are throwing around here and really trying to bring back into the game, which is fantastic. This is exactly what people loved about talent trees. So this is all we know so far about them, but what I do want to have a discussion with you legends about is what you want to see in your class's talent trees. You know, go back to thinking of past abilities, present abilities, and what new abilities you would love to see. For me, really quickly just talking about the stance of DKs, I would love to see Gorfine's Grass come back to every spec of DK. I would love to see Breath of Sindragosa be an option for Blood DKs once again. Blood Mirror, I would love to see that ability brought back from the dead. Army of the Dead for all Blood DK, for all Blood DK specs. For all DK specs would be amazing, but mainly I just care about Blood, so give me Army of the Dead back and make it taunt everything again. You know, I would love to see a new ability like, I was thinking about this before, like Blood of the Fallen or something like that. So it would encourage, obviously, mass suicide pulls, but if you pulled trash onto a boss, for example, and then the trash died around it and the boss was still up, it would be like a reverse funnel. Once you activated this ability, in regards to how many enemies are dead on the ground, would be how much damage you would pump into a single target focused attack or something like that. So it's like a reverse funnel. And I thought that would be really cool and OP, so I would want it for me. But let me know what you would like to see for your classes and your specs. I'd love to read about it. So this system, as I said, it has the ability to completely revamp the play of so many classes here, and I really hope they manage to nail this. So that is it for me, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you very much for checking out the video. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you all next time. See you, fam.